All right, hi. Want to talk about multiplying fractions and dividing fractions. They're quite different than adding, subtracting fractions, and that you have to worry about finding LCD. Oftentimes, I find people try to find LCDs when multiplying fractions when they really don't need to. So let's try this. We've got 1/2 times 3/4. So how do we multiply fractions? Well, this is the original problem. What we want to do is find out what fraction represents this, or what number represents this product of fractions, this multiplying fractions. What we do is this. It's quite a simple procedure. This numerator, how will we find that? It'll be the product of these two numerators right here. So here we have 1 times 3. So that's what this numerator will be. And then what will the denominator be here? Well, this denominator will be the product of these denominators. So that'll be 2 times 4. And I'm showing it quite explicitly. Okay. So here, that's just the explicit setup. And now we could actually go and multiply, meaning what's 1 times 3? That's 3. And then what's 2 times 4? Well, 2 times 4, that's 8. And then we look to see if we can reduce. And actually, well, how we go about that is if there's a factor that's common between the numerator and the denominator, then we could just divide out those common factors. That's how we reduce. But here, 3 and 8, well, 3 is only divisible by 3, 8, that's even, so it's divisible by 2. So they're not divisible by the same common factor. So this is it. This is how multiplying fractions go. Now, another example. Let's say that we have this. We have 4/5 times 10 10/24, say, for an example. Now, the same rules apply in that our product, what we'll have here, will just be the product of the numerators, giving us the new numerator, and the product denominators giving us the new denominator. But we could use a little insight here to make this problem a little bit easier, and that's by dividing out common factors. So what do I mean? You see, let's go left to right. Up top here, we have this 4, right? 4 we know is, well, divisible by 2, but also divisible by 4, okay? So we have a number here in the numerator that's divisible by 2, or, you can even say 4. So the thing is, you want to look to see in the denominators if there's a number that is also divisible by 2 or 4, and actually there is. It's 24. Now, why do we do that? We do that so that we can divide out those common factors, and actually that will allow us to get smaller numbers. That makes our multiplication simpler. So what do I mean? Well, remember, 4 and 24 are both divisible by 4, so let's just go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out this 4 because I know that 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I crossed out that 4, and in its place I put 1. Same thing here. So 24 divided by 4 is 6. So I cross out the 24 and I put the 6 right there. I've made these numbers considerably smaller legally. Now here, 10. 10 is divisible by either 5 or 2. And if you look at this, well, this is 5 is obviously divisible by 5. So let's go ahead and do that. And that 10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Okay. And then if you look at this, 2 is even and 6 is even, so we could do a little bit more. So this is process of multiplying, but Also, just dividing out common factors to make our multiplications a little bit easier. So 2 divided by 2, that's 1. 6 divided by 2, that's 3. So what I'll have up top here, remember we still got 1's here. This will be in the numerator, 1 times 1. And in the denominator, we've got these two numbers, 1 times 3. So quite simply, that's 1/3, already reduced. Okay? So those are my comments for multiplication. While we're at it, let me talk about division. So let's see here. Let's say if we had 2/3 divided by 1/5. Okay, so how do you divide these fractions? Well, the thing about division is that we need to, in order to divide, we need to rewrite the division as a multiplication. So let me describe for you what that process is. This first fraction right here, 2/3, we're going to keep that 2/3. Whatever number that is that precedes, that means it comes before that division symbol, we keep. So here that was 2/3. This division, we need to change that to a multiplication. So here, this is my multiplication dot right there. And now, the number that is after the division in the original problem, we need to replace that number as well. And what we replace it with is the reciprocal. And what do I mean by reciprocal? Well, here in the numerator, there was 1 and the denominator was 5. So the reciprocal is just interchanging those two. So here, we'll have 5 divided by 1. Notice here the 5 was in the denominator, but here it was in the numerator. Also 1. That 1 was in the numerator, but now here's the denominator. So this is the main thrust of dividing fractions, rewriting the division as a multiplication. And then after that, you just multiply. Here, this number is even. There's nothing in the denominator that's even. So we cannot divide by 2. Here, 5, there's nothing divisible by 5. So let's just go at it. 2 times 5 divided by 3 times 1. So what is that? That is 10/3. Alright, so that's a little bit about multiplication division, and I hope this helped. See you later.